And joining me now to talk about today's funeral and the future of the monarchy are my guests, Notre Dame professor Colin Barr and Charlie Lankston, an assistant editor at the Daily Mail. And Colin, the focus now turns to King Charles, his vision of a slimmed-down monarchy. You know, I remember that the current Prime Minister, Liz Truss, very early on in her political career, advocated for abolishing the monarchy. What's the public sentiment right now around the monarchy?
I think the possibility of abolishing the monarchy is about the furthest from anybody's mind right now. The events of today, the huge emotional response to the funeral, which is natural and to be expected, has taken that off the agenda. It wasn't particularly on anybody's agenda in any serious or focused way. Liz Truss has long since abandoned those positions, along with many others. I think today the monarchy is very, very well established, but that is at least in part a byproduct of Queen Elizabeth's great success, the enormous success of the ceremonies today. It will be up to King Charles whether he can build on that or whether it begins to slowly diminish because he doesn't live up to his mother's almost impossible legacy.
Right. It is an impossible legacy, isn't it, in many ways?
It has to be. I mean, she reigned for so very long. She straddled multiple generations, the last of the Great World War II generation. Charles himself has been in the public eye for a very long time indeed. He has been Prince of Wales for a record number of years himself. He is both a known quantity, but a known quantity not as king. So it's going to be a question of how will he take up this role. He's been controversial in the past. He has not always been sure-footed. It is an open question, but for the time being, everybody, or almost everybody, not everybody, is going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Charlie, the royal family really tried to set aside any tensions they may have between different members and unite in grief and in tribute to this amazing woman. Do you think any healing was actually accomplished, or is this just something everybody's going to retreat back to their corners once the funeral's over?
Unfortunately, I don't think any real healing took place. We've obviously heard a lot of chatter about William and Harry, Meghan and Kate, and so on and so forth. But the reality is, even if this event had served as a form of healing in some way, there are still too many unknowns in the future that the royal family have to be scared of. You've got Harry's upcoming memoir that's set to be published potentially before the end of the year. Then you have Meghan and Harry's Netflix show, which again provides them with an opportunity to drop more bombshells about the royal family. So I don't really see how William or Charles can have embraced Meghan and Harry with open arms, knowing that those things are still hanging over their heads. Now, I do think that concessions were made, small olive branches were extended. For example, Harry being allowed to wear his military uniform at the vigil. That was a way of Charles saying, you are still a part of this family and you are still my son. William and Kate inviting Harry and Meghan on that walkabout in Windsor Castle. Again, that was another way of them bringing Harry and Meghan into the fold, even if just temporarily. But I think that it really is a case of it being a Band-Aid over a bullet wound.
Yeah, that's a very graphic way to put it. The outpouring of affection for the Queen really was remarkable. I mean, people were waiting in line 20 to 24 hours to walk past the Queen's casket. Leaders from around the world gathered to salute her and honor her. It really was a moving thing. What do you each, I'm just curious from both of you, what surprised you and moved you most in watching not just the funeral today, but the events of the last 10 days?
I think for me, and go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think speaking as a Brit, what I found incredibly moving is the number of different generations that we saw turning out to show their respects to the Queen. There's been a lot of discussion about the fact that younger generations don't necessarily have as much love for the monarchy. They don't have as much respect for the monarchy. And I think the events of the past 10 days have proven that not to be true. We've seen children with their parents. We've seen old people, young people. You know, we've seen parents, we've seen grandparents. And I think that it really is a testament to the incredible cultural impact that Her Majesty had. We've also seen people from around the world. And for someone who is from the United Kingdom, that's something that has made me incredibly proud to see the impact that the Queen had, not only on my home country, but also on the world.
Right. Colin, quickly.
I think as a Canadian by birth and a British citizen by adoption myself, I think what struck me was the global character of the funeral. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police leading the procession away from the Abbey, the troops from the various Commonwealth countries, and the huge global leadership. A reminder of a problematic legacy of empire, but also today something in the death of Queen Elizabeth that brought so much of that world together in mourning. And perhaps for a time forgetting that difficult history in a shared experience.
Right. It was quite a day, really something to watch. Colin Barr, Charlie Lankston, thank you so much for breaking it down with us and sharing your insight with us tonight.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.